Welcome to another episode of Locker Room. Championship week. The football gods blessed us. We have an in-division rivalry with the Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles. In our generation's Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady, we got Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes in the championship game. If you are true to this show, consider subscribing to the boys. Make sure you're subscribed to this boys. If you're new to the show, you love the boys, you love ball talk, this show's for you. Subscribe, hit that subscribe button. We have a special guest in the house.
Handsome.
Clay Matthews, former All-Pro, former Super Bowl champion, former Pro Bowler. We're talking ball. Let's have a hell of a show and let's have a day.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Locker Room. It is championship weekend, college football now in the rearview mirror. We're feeling good about that. Congratulations to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Our usual people, myself, Will Compton, Delanie Walker, and a very, very handsome guest. Let's give a round of applause for Clay Matthews, huh?
Thanks, guys.
Clay, your hair is impeccable.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you have to have your hair long because of all the commercials?
That's the only reason why I keep it long at this point. My kids are like, when are you going to cut your hair? I say, well, because these companies call and they want
head and shoulders.
this right
Whenever
here.
the money
They gotta
runs
know
dry.
what's
Yeah,
what.
Whenever
Yeah.
the well runs
Yeah.
dry.
I respect that. One company that will call and is presented by the Locker Room is Fireball. Fireball is what the Locker Room is sponsored by Fireball Whiskey. So many things make football great, but you know what makes it, the best thing is?
You got it.
Kicking the living shit out of your rival. There's absolutely no better feeling as an athlete or a fan. And Fireball Whiskey is here to give you the spark to ignite that rivalry all season long.
Stay in it.
Grab your football buddy, buy a round, and ignite that rivalry flame.
Reignite.
Reignite. Hey, how have I gotten worse?
No.
That CTE.
We got more people here. We got more people.
Yeah.
We
Clay's
got
making
Clay.
Clay's making
Clay,
nervous.
here.
Look at his stature.
You nervous?
And he's
B.
got a build to him.
He does.
It may be that vintage sweater you got on holding you back.
Shout out to Boy. Dude, I love this thing.
Did
This
you
is
have that
awesome.
when you were big, though? Because it looks a little...
No, I was
No,
giving
no,
it
he
this
just-
25
he
minutes
just got
ago.
that.
Oh, you just got
Yeah,
it?
just got it. I think the dad sweater's got to be a little bit bigger.
You know, it's
They got
probably
to.
1980s. What do you think? What year?
This?
90s.
Probably late 80s, early
You know
90s.
that education.
I'll tell you what, if I was at
bad,
USC in 200005, I'd have the little crop top going just like you and the
Yeah,
boys as
little
linebackers.
frill
huh?
right here. Just tie the little
Yeah,
knot, show
hem it
off your
up, show those
six-pack.
bottom
Yeah.
abs.
Mhm.
You excited to dive into the gambling world with the boys?
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I
Have
lost
you
enough
done
money
done
that
much throughout the year?
I had to back off a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
When I left California and moved to Tennessee, I learned that gambling was legal, okay? So I jumped in, with little $25 bets. We started, upping the ante, and then, I had a deal with DraftKings, and it has since expired, but they needed my login credentials, so I looked at how much I had deposited, and so I kind of backed off.
Yeah.
But there's no better time to get back on the winning side than now.
Your brother's in the game, right?
My brother is a professional handicapper, does it for a living. He's got a nice following, pretty sizable following. He's on Twitter, X. I'm going to have you guys plug this. I got to take care of
Do
the
you know his
family.
user to where you can plug it right now?
Yes, at @the_BMAT. He cooked up a nice 8-leg juicy parlay that's for sure going to hit. So I know
Can't
you
say for
boys.
sure. Can't guarantee. Can't
1-800
guarantee.
gambler. Can't say
But it is a high percentage.
High
is what you're-
probability.
High probability.
With an asterisk.
Yeah,
With an
yeah.
asterisk.
No
You know
doubt
how
about
we,
it.
Yeah.
We're obsessed with chasing these parlays.
And they
Right-
have to be
right-
at least 8
Right
legs.
when I walk in, I'm like, hey, I heard you got a juicy parlay cooked up. He's like, it's only 8 legs. And I'm thinking to myself, that is how it starts for us all.
Guaranteed.
Dude, we were talking this before the show, and it really is like when you start putting those parlays together, it's like you see that plus 10,000, that plus whatever, but then you start looking and you're like, how do these not go the way I want them to go?
Let me put a couple of conservative legs in there,
Yeah,
juice it up a little bit
yeah. And
more.
then here's one you got to worry about. That one hits, the rest of them don't,
know.
or the first
Yeah.
one dies and the rest of them hit. It's just
It's when the first one dies, you like,
And
yeah.
mine's done the
They
last
didn't even
2
get
weeks.
started.
it's a weekly war. And I had 2 this weekend. In my second one, I was like, I feel good about this. Rams dead
Yeah.
immediately. Speaking of records, you want to go over them? I'm
We don't
excited to
have
get to
to.
mine.
We don't
not
have to.
really, but yeah,
Yes.
not really.
I'll live in plain sight. My record this week, 0%, 0-7.
Hey,
Clap it up. My name is Taylor, and I can't win a bet right now. First,
First.
that is big.
That
it's
first
harder to go
over.
0-7 than 1 for 6.
And the thing too is
I
you need to
went 1 for
run the
6.
clip, Jared. Last week I looked at you at 1-9. I was like, can't get worse than that. Here we are. 0%. That's as bad as it gets.
That was really bad. So 0-7, 1-6,
2-5. If you faded all of us, you're profitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing about the show. If you hate our bets, just fade us and you'll win.
I think everybody should fade me this week. Every single pick I have needs to be faded.
Before we dive into championship week, Clay, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What is your
Biggest fear.
What's your best personal memory in a championship game? Or it could be a Super Bowl.
We're talking like
What's the
yeah, I
biggest
was
play
gonna
that
say.
Clay Matthews made?
We won Super Bowl 45, and I forced a fumble on Rashard Mendenhall to start the fourth quarter that Desmond Bishop picked up. We went down, scored. That started the whole. I don't know if you remember this from this past year when Mendenhall made some
Oh, we
comments
remember.
on.
That's where the all-white team came
And
from.
all-black team, yeah.
You're right.
That's how the all-white versus all-black.
Fantastic. Yeah, I stayed out of it, though. I stayed out of it whatsoever. But,
Is that the fumble he was talking about?
Yeah.
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 That was me who forced it.
That's why when he said it, I just started.
No shit.
But it was cool. But the problem was that was only my second year in the league. So much like Jaden Daniels, I didn't know how big the moment was at the time, and that we wouldn't get back there next year. We're 15-1. We're gonna do Giants beat us. They go on to beat the Patriots. Next year, we go out to San Francisco. Kaepernick runs wild on us next year. It's so difficult to do that. But that was probably my favorite moment, is obviously winning the Super Bowl, because so many other times we lost to the Falcons in the NFC Championship when they lost to the Patriots, and we lost one other time. Oh, Seattle.
Oh, yeah, Seattle.
Yeah.
Seattle. That was tough. That was a heartbreaker.
When you talk about losing to the Falcons and that next game, they're up 28-3 at half.
Yeah.
Are you just kind of hoping the Patriots come back, or are you happy the Falcons won because they beat you, so you can maybe say, oh, we would have beat them too?
Well, like we talked about, my cousin plays for the Falcons, so he's
Yeah, we
left
did talk
tackle
about
there. Yeah,
that,
we talked
yeah.
about that. But so obviously I was rooting for them, and then I don't know. I kind of go back and forth on if a team beats you, do you really root for them to win, or is the hater inside of you like, no, I hope they lose? But no, I was pulling for the Falcons at that time.
I'm a hater.
You're a hater?
I'm a hater.
Even if your family's on the team.
Well, no, now that's different.
Yeah.
You're right. If
But
your
there's that's such a small sample size. There's like 3 families that have ever done that.
and that's
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, my
I got the
cousin. I'm like,
lineage.
yeah, I totally
My cousin,
forgot.
my uncle, my dad.
I forgot when you body bagged me on the bus about your cousin.
Isn't it interesting too? Like he's sitting there talking about how he wins the Super Bowl in his second year. You don't realize like we never got back to that place. Like you think you're going to do it over and over. Like I only made the playoffs 2 times, and the one time you make the playoffs, you think you're going to build on it. We never slipped the playoffs, but we all have the same like. He's so down. He's won a Super Bowl, and he's
Right.
like, you just realize you don't get back to it. And he starts rattling off all the playoff pushes that they made.
Yeah.
Were you on that 2015 Redskins team?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
That
Commanders team.
Yeah.
That was a good.
You
game.
guys beat us in wild card. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good game.
I was. It's so
It seems
funny.
like you need to unpack that a little bit with the
Well,
therapist. the way you're
I'm
responding.
laughing because it was like 2 years ago. I have it pulled up on the NFL app, that game, and I'm walking through with like JP. I'm like, hey JP, just watch this game. Like if Deshaun Jackson reaches for the pylon, we score there instead of get a field goal. And I was like, a defense, not that we were rolling, but we had them to where the whole week it was like, don't get caught substituting on third down because Aaron Rodgers is going to quick snap you. He's going to throw the ball because he'll have a penalty. And sure enough, like in those first 2 drives that happened to us, and then the ball just ends up like going their way and they beat us.
What were you were up like 15 something or what?
Yeah,
was the
we were
score?
up, bro. But we, it's like the Chargers a couple weeks ago when they were only up 6-0 instead of 14-0.
Yeah.
You field goals, you got to get 7 points.
Yeah.
Because D-Jack was right there.
Yeah.
If he just reaches for that fucking pylon, we're probably talking about Washington Redskins Super
But
Bowl
then he
champions in
fumbled,
2015.
Didn't he fumble or something? He had some type of fumble issue. That's why he didn't reach, right? What was the issue why he didn't reach? I know he
I don't
came out
know.
and said it.
It was one of those where like the ball didn't go over the goal line because he didn't reach it, but his legs kind of were over the pylon, so they pushed him back to the 1, and then your boy was that middle linebacker. They didn't punch it in; they had to kick a field goal. So,
Yeah, that was a year.
but I think I established myself as the best inside linebacker in that game.
Yeah, I was giving
though,
him
yeah.
shit on Bussin, so I'm like, you got promo
Just
that
subtle shot again that Will's already going to his
year. You got
next
promo
eye.
that year at middle linebacker, not
Hey,
outside,
it
not
be your
rushing.
own kind who hate on you. You know,
Yeah,
I took
linebacker.
that
He had
home.
60
This is
tackles
it.
on the season.
White on
Hey,
white crime
11
right now.
sacks.
This is stuff to
11
love.
sacks.
You did have 11 sacks.
Coming off the edge.
I mean, how many sacks you have?
1.
The whole career?
Yeah. But look at
But
career
he's
earnings
saying
divided by
he-
sack
but you
ratio.
see
Like
what he's trying
that
to
sack
say?
was worth a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, it was.
He trying to say because he only played middle linebacker. That's what he trying to say.
Right. And there was
He
a whole
said he was-
argument about Clay shouldn't have made all-pro at linebacker.
Well, see that, bro. So
Because
We're
his
Pro
stats
Bowl
were
that
not,
year, and he
they were
knows it,
not
like-
all-pro-esque.
Yeah. His
60,
sacks-
70 tackles
His
is
sacks
like-
were, but
hey,
not the tackle.
First of all, I switched. Well, let me tell you. All right, this was 2015. 2015, week 1. All right, so 2014, I played half the season at inside linebacker. I told you
Because of
that's-
injuries, right?
No, we were 31st ranked rush defense. They
Oh,
said
so you had
we
to
got to
change it
change
up.
something. Next year, week 1, Sam Barrington breaks his leg, middle of the game. They're telling me, Clay, don't worry, you're not going to play inside this year. I got to switch over there. Jay Cutler throws me a pick, 4 minutes left in the game, seals it like that, cementing myself back inside for the rest of the year. So I don't want to hear this talk about 60 tackles because when it was dime personnel, your boy was back on the edge doing what he did best, all right?
All right.
Oh, you were in all,
You gotta hand
moving
me
you
that
around
right
like
there.
crazy.
Hey, third down, they probably took you off the field because you were a liability. Hey, I'm just saying.
Oh my God, Will, do something.
Hey, I went home.
Please, he's already dead.
I went home and I went over my head and I'm like, this guy really called me out for having 60 tackles and being
Doing on that for
like, I haven't had
Because of his
it was
story.
my own people. I thought he was like, hell yeah, wait, we got to represent each other, but it's cool. I had to get that off my chest. So I'm glad you had me back
he
on.
I'm
My
glad
bad.
we're here.
Hey,
Fuck,
Tate,
oh,
man,
I was
All right,
kind of nervous texting you about coming on the show. I see why you want to come on now.
But I'm
I said
done.
you want to
I'm
come
done.
on.
Let's get to the
He's like,
games.
"Oh,
Let's
I'm
get to
done."
the games. Let's get to the games.
Hey, what time I might have something? 10? Yeah, I'll be there. No problem. I was like, oh shit, that's the easiest booking we've ever had.
He was watching that clip like, damn,
This
that went over
motherfucker,
my
dude.
head. Oh, I got to get his.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him.
I love you, Will.
I know what it's
Now
like.
I'm gonna
I know
go
what it's like
go
playing
back and watch.
championship weekend, man. 2 quarters away from a Super Bowl. We would have won it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate the way you responded to that.
Who would you have played? What year was that?
Would have played the Eagles,
2000, yeah, Eagles, 2000.
and we would have bodied them.
It was 2019.
2019, yeah.
Yeah.
That was Eagles Chiefs.
Yep.
That's what happened.
Yeah, so you would have played.
So no. Then
We would have played the Eagles. No,
They lost to the Chiefs. Chiefs
We
went to
lost
the
to the
Super Bowl.
Chiefs. Chiefs went to the Super Bowl.
We lost to them in the NFC
AFC.
AFC Championship game.
Lost to the Chiefs?
Yeah.
You think in 2018? Yeah.
2018. Yeah, 2018.
49ers Chiefs. Yeah, we beat them too, and that would have been huge for you.
I know.
Wouldn't that have been
I
all
would have,
time?
but I would have got a Super Bowl ring. I wouldn't have been able to play still. I was fucking hurt.
Yeah, but you know.
Yeah. If I was
Best
there,
ability
we
is
probably would have
durability.
won. We never lost to the Chiefs when I was there.
Yeah, he lost. He was hurt. Yeah, but here's the upside. Best ability is durability. Like, no, he was broken.
He was broken.
I was fucked up.
We want to start NFC, AFC.
We can go NFC.
Let's go NFC.
It's right here on the sheet. Commanders at Eagles. Eagles favored by -6. The over/under on this game is 47.5. Who wants to kick it off?
Pass.
Man, look, I'll start it off. Okay, you know what I mean? Commanders, Eagles.
I do know what you mean.
Yeah, Commanders, Eagles. This is a hard one. I know it's hard because you got the Eagles that's playing
and the
well at the
Commanders.
end of the year, right? But the Commanders, what they did to the Detroit Lions, no one expected that to happen. No one thought they was gonna come out, stop their run game, shut down golf, and win the game the way they did. You got to give it up to Dan Quinn. The guy got those guys prepared. You got Jalen Daniels balling. You got Bobby Wagner on the defense, making those guys play. When you add a leader like that, as you know, a linebacker can change the game when you got a leader like Bobby.
I know too.
Will?
You can look at me too, Delanie.
Like I said.
You know.
As you know.
Will ain't never been in this situation. No. But at the end
What
of
kind
the
of show
day,
we're gonna have today?
at the end of the day, those guys is moving on all cylinders. They got 3 running backs that can run the ball with the Commanders. They passing the ball well. You got Scary Terry out there taking quick passes and turning them into 70 yards. Man, I really feel like the Commanders are going to win this game. I'm going with my heart, so I'm going to take the Commanders +6 to win this game. against
Clay
the
over here
Eagles.
shaking
I'm
his
shaking
head.
my head. I'm shaking my head because while I touched on being young and with Jaden Daniels being young, not understanding the magnitude or feeling like he's got to get like Josh Allen beating Mahomes and the Chiefs or Lamar Jackson getting that, that playoff win, he is going to play loose and free. But you look at the 2 previous matchups, they couldn't stop the run. the Commanders.
Yeah,
they
they
Saquon 2 touchdowns each game, 150, roughly each game. I don't see him stopping them, especially going back to Philly. And if it weren't for Jaden's antics at the end of that week 16 or 17 game, whatever it was, they obviously don't win that game. But I think their run is up at this week. I just think it's plain and simple. I don't think their defense is opportunistic, as you mentioned, forcing 5 turnovers, whatever it was against Detroit.
Yep.
As long as they can, Hurts plays smart. He's going to throw for 200 yards, game manager, however you want to, talk about it. But they're not going to be able to stop Saquon. I think it gets away. I think it's close at first because it's a divisional game, but I think Philly runs away with it.
Yeah, and he made a good point. Commanders is 5th, I think the 5th worst in the rushing, I want to say.
In the last 6 games, they're a bottom 6 run defense.
Bottom 6. So, I mean, if they can't stop the run, it's going to be tough. But, again, it may be a snowy game. Maybe that type of temperature again in Philly.
Look at the weather. Look at the weather on that one.
40 degrees.
40 degrees?
Yeah.
Okay.
40 degrees, really?
Clear?
It's
snow.
an early game, yeah.
I love
So where's
that.
Clay can't compare.
That was
Yeah, he
good.
did.
Hey, that was a good one. You pulled that one
I
out.
think if this Eagles team doesn't have Saquon, the Commanders actually win this game. It's one of the biggest things for me is watching Jalen Hurts last week. He got rolled up a couple times, got hit, was on that right knee a few times, had to come out for a play or two, goes back in. You see him take a safety later in that game because he didn't have the mobility to get away from the rush, which is a big part of Jalen Hurts' game. It helps him extend plays. And he only does throw for 200 yards, but his ability to extend plays and use his legs is a big reason why their rushing attack has been so strong. Now, Saquon Barkley, when you see a guy 180 backwards hurdling over cats, doing things that are making the most elite athletes in the world stand up and applaud on each sideline, we're looking at a generational talent. With the offensive line that the Eagles have and how the Commanders' defense has been handling themselves and then being bottom 5 that you both just said, it's hard for me to see the Eagles not taking this game, taking time of possession, running the rock down their throats, forcing them to make uncharacteristic mistakes from a guy like Bobby Wagner or Lou Vu, who's right next to him. I can see the Eagles running away with this. My heart wants the Commanders. I want it because they've been in a drought for so long. Jaden Daniels is an amazing story. Dan Quinn, they thought he was a coordinator. He wasn't a head coach guy. He's come and turned that entire franchise around, especially after, they sell the franchise. All those things behind closed doors were happening. Like the city needs that more than ever. And I want that for them. But the Eagles, if they stick to a run game, an efficient run game, and Jalen Hurts is mobile enough, I see them winning this game by more than 6 points.
I like the Commanders.
I know you do.
I love the Commanders. It's like they flipped the whole organization around in 1 year. And you guys know, like, getting into the playoffs, like the inspired ball that they're playing, like, I kind of like the innocence Jaden has. You look at how he's played. He's like 46 of 66, over 550 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He's got a passer rating of 116. I think the offense moves the ball. It's all going to come down to them being able to stop the run. That defensive line is going to have a big, tall task ahead of them stopping Saquon Barkley because I don't think you can. And Saquon Barkley, even though he didn't get the regular season record with Eric Dickerson, he's chasing that all-time season record. He's 3rd right now behind, who were the first 2, Delanie?
TD?
Terrell Davis.
TD, yep.
TD. He's got 2,400 yards, and I think Saquon's like 2 yards short of getting in 2nd place. But Saquon's going to be running crazy in this game. It's going to come down to stopping the run. And you look at the defense, like all of a sudden last week against the Detroit Lions, they get 4 interceptions. That defense had 7 the entire year.
But is that their defense playing really well, or is that an uncharacteristic game for Jared Goff?
No,
It could be
defense
both.
was playing very well.
Yeah, but Jared also was throwing some muffins around
Because
there
he
a
was
little bit
getting his
too.
ass lit. When you see on that interception, he got folded.
Oh,
bro.
yeah, he got.
He
did
wasn't
get
the
folded.
same person after he came back
Refs
in the
are
game.
throwing a flag with Mahomes and that.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Come on, of course. You're not
right.
about to hit this star.
But Clay, like once you get a couple turnovers, like as a defensive unit, like even it doesn't matter. Like it does matter where you're ranked for guys like us, but just in that room, just the motivation you kind of have, the swag you start to play with because you started turning the ball over. I like what they have going on there. They are the underdog story. They wanted Philly. Philly was the better team than the Rams, but the Commanders, they had already won. They're sitting there. They're wanting Philly because they want whoever that the league throws at them to get to this Super Bowl. And Dan Quinn, what I'm hearing behind closed doors is Dan Quinn. Are you familiar with the military, Clay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dan Quinn apparently has a speech. Everybody talks about this leader that Dan Quinn is and how much people just gravitate towards him. He believes, Jay Daniels believes, and he gives this speech surrounding the military when they take him in and hold him in the bath. And they're going to scratch and claw and they're going to get their licks in. Like they're going to get their licks in, but they're going to be the one motionless at the bottom of the bathtub and we'll be standing over top of them. That's what we're going to go in and do to the Detroit Lions. And I think they do the same thing to the Eagles.
Yay!
That was fucking juicy.
Bro, when I'm hearing about this speech, I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Is there ever a better moment than when a head coach puts on a great pregame speech?
Yeah.
It's
When
the
you get
best.
there, the hair, your eyes are welting up
I'm
with
about
tears.
to cry. Like,
Yes.
I'm about to go out here.
And you look around and you're
Coaches
just
can't
like,
really do that.
Not
They can't really do
not
that. I know
all
McCarthy
coaches.
wasn't out there fucking banging. You were banging your head against the wall.
No, we had, I know like one of the better speeches that I was a part of was Charles Woodson after the year we won the Super Bowl, the NFC Championship. We beat Chicago one game away, and I forget, it was like Obama. He might be a Chicago fan or something like that. He was talking about, not coming to see the Bears at the White House, something like that. And so he talked about, we're going to go see him. We're going to go see Obama at the White House. Hell yeah. We still had 2 weeks to the game, but we were fired up at that
Yeah.
point.
Hell yeah.
A good speech changes everything. But you're right. Like a
Everything.
coach, it's like you're not out there with us. So you can say everything, but at the end of the day, like, you need one of the boys to rally the
But
troops.
if you have the ability to get the hairs on your arm to stand
Yeah.
up as a coach, just speaking in front of a team, because you're right, they're not out there. And you think to yourself, a coach that doesn't speak well in front of a team, when he tries to get the rah going, that's where your brain goes. Like, bro, you're not out there.
Yeah, I
You
try to
don't
just
know.
start dating.
But a guy like Dan Quinn, so you're talking about holding somebody underwater till the bubbles stop. That's the kind of shit that gets me fucking
I'm
juiced.
getting juiced up off
and
that.
again, you got this.
How many snaps you got right now after that conversation?
I'm got about 30 in me.
30.
Yeah, let's go, D.
That's
All
30 more
red
than
zone,
me.
though.
And too, it's like Jane Daniels is just playing unreal. And then you have the veteran leaders of Bobby Wagner. You got Austin Eckler. You got Scary Terry. You got Louisville. You got all these guys. It's like, I'm fired up for him. And I got some whiteboard. I got some
ahead.
whiteboard. I got a
Let's
couple little
see. Let's
nuggets.
see what you got.
I got a little nugget in this game.
Get them pumped, baby.
We're going to be talking about something the Philadelphia Eagles did against the Rams last week. They ran a formation back-to-back. They had a play call off of it, but it doesn't start. Ultimately, the final formation is going to be trip speed, what I like to call trip speed. Before we get there, we're going to talk about cover 4 in 2x2 settings. So when you're an inside backer and you have an over front, you have an A and B gap open, you also have a C gap or playing off the end. You're probably going to have a safety coming in late on the weak side, either side. Either way, you have these run gaps. You're going to kind of conceptually, you want a 2 gap, like as the inside backers when you're running a 2-shell scheme, knowing you're going to be getting help late, probably from the weak side. Now, the conflict you get into, because again, you're taking up the A and B gaps on the inside, playing all the way to the C. When you have a tight end in the core, the Will's able to play from A to C. Tight end in the core, the Mike Backer, there's his 3 right here, 1, 2, 3. He's able to play from C to A. Now, when you get in a situation when it's too high, and Philly did this last week against the Rams, the first play, they noticed they line up in trip speed. So as a middle linebacker, you are a 3 player. When your 3 is outside of the core, you have to go married to your coverage. So when it takes you out of the core, you no longer can really get to that B gap conceptually. What you got to do, there's a bunch of different verbiage out there. You can stick it. We call it jam at some places. But the middle linebacker would walk out. He would jam or stick the end so the end could take the B gap. And that way the Mike can play to his coverage on 3 and also play this C gap if they do run the ball. What happens here, Philly is so good running the football that even when the Mike Baxter walks out, you can see the end trying to get across face, but Mailata does such a good job of walling them off. They gash them up the middle. They get right back on the ball to run the same type of concept to where you have the run game inside here, or you have a bubble screen to throw out if nobody's out here. What do the Rams do? The Rams get into cover 3. So in cover 3, you're gapped out. You have the Mike here, the Will here, and the safety's going to come down and play curl flat in the C gap. You got a curl flat player with the nickel. You got a thirds player with the corner. You got another midfield player with the safety. But what it does is now you're outnumbered on the side, on the outside. So instead of running the ball, Jalen can now just throw this ball out because they're 2-on-2 blocking, and then you can gash them up the sideline. What the Eagles did, they were in the fringe area. The fringe area, remind me, 25 to the 40?
Give or
Something,
take,
give or
Fringe,
take.
yeah, Fringe is right before the red zone.
Right, but you're looking to take a shot, and that's what the Eagles did here. They pump fake this bubble screen, AJ goes up the sideline. They don't get connected, but ultimately the Eagles are trying to build situations that puts them in conflicts of interest. One thing that we did was you would try and check Buzz to where that way you have a safety coming down to play the hole, the Mike backers over in the A gap, and then the Wills over here in the C gap playing curl flat. So that way you have the numbers on the outside. But it'll be interesting to watch to see what the Eagles do and what situations they try to get Washington in. Again, because the Washington Commanders are bottom tier defense, are stopping the run. You get them in these situations, you're able to gash them up the middle. I think Saquon's going to have a good day, but I love the Commanders.
Hold on, before you go, when you were talking about the formation, trips and speed trips, you refer to as speed trips. What is the difference between just regular trips and speed trips in your mind as a defensive player?
So if you're, sorry, I'll just erase this right here.
Is it just a personnel thing of what players are in?
Yeah, so you're still in 11 personnel, but if you build trips down here, the Mike backers pass responsibility is a 3-player. So your 3 is in the core. So you can still play from C to A without having to go too far. It's when they remove the 3-player outside the core. So if they were to, really it's basing it out of trip speed. The Mike backer has to walk out. So when they walk out, Jalen ultimately knows they're in a 2-shell defense. So he knows he's going to hand the ball off here. Mailata knows if they're playing a high-level ball that the end, if he hears anything, he knows the end's going to try and cross face.
Yeah, and that's
just get in his face.
That's a tell. Anytime the mic is outside the end with the B gap wide open, you're assuming the end is probably in a cross face.
Yeah, and then the exact next play, they're sitting here stagnant in their gap. So they know they're probably getting a cover 1 look. And they had the numbers out here to throw the bubble. But again, being in the fringe, they were just taking a shot because they're closer to the end zone. Mm-hmm. But that's basically the pass conflict, the run pass conflict you get into as a backer is when you have to walk out on this wide receiver and try and play both the bubble and the cutback area of the C gap.
Well, that's why you walk out to try to play both, right? You try to stop the bubble from happening, but also have your outside contain rules, correct?
Right, because if you're in here trying to play 3 out here, like you're way out leverage, you're never going to get there. Yeah. So you have to walk out. Now you can't get to your B gap. You have to do something schematically to help eat up the A and B gap so that way it bounces to the outside if you're going to be involved in the run game.
That's why you get the end to cheat inside a little bit, or at least get head up on that tackle.
Yeah. Right.
But that gives away everything you're doing.
Instead of staying outside, you almost have to line up on that outside shoulder so you can win in there and make it. But then hopefully you don't get pushed, collapse all the way down the line, and then the cutback area.
Right. The better move is you want to cut that off so that B gap is wide open. Then that Mike is in a harder time. He's in a greater. Does he hit it outside? Does he hit it inside?
Yeah.
And
then they gash him up the middle.
Right.
Because the Mike or nobody's able to get inside.
And anytime a defensive end goes laterally and you're going vertically, you're taking him on a 45-degree angle, you're going to get a chunk play or at least a positive play of 4 more yards.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, we look at
beautifully done, Will.
Yeah.
Beautifully done.
Some ball talk.
Beautifully done on the board. That fire you up a little bit, Clay?
Yeah, no, my seat was a little off right here, so the neck's a little tight.
Yeah,
but it was good to see that again. I'm surprised that your name wasn't in the hat for coordinator position this year. Have you thought about that, Coach?
I definitely, without the podcast, like if the podcast wouldn't have worked out, coaching was definitely what I wanted to do. I still might do it one day.
Will Compton becoming the head coach of the Nebraska Cornhuskers is the one thing standing between Bussin With The Boys and greatness. Like it could fall at any moment. If Nebraska has a couple of bad years and Rule ends up going and Will gets a call, Bussin With The Boys will just be me and Delanie.
If Nebraska has a few hard years and I got to exchange the mic for a whistle, like that is when I would be like, all right, we got to get this.
And I'll have no choice but to be like, brother, this is your destiny.
You got to hire us.
I'll do anything but.
You gonna follow him though?
I'll do the receiver.
I'll come in. What I would do is, if he was a coach, I would come in for a spring ball time.
Yeah.
Help out the offensive lineman.
Give a speech.
Give a speech and boogie back to Nashville.
Yeah.
Because I'm not living life is.
It's hard.
It's hell.
Very different.
Did you ever think about doing that?
I thought about it.
Yeah, you're right. He is a coach.
Well, man, I thought about it, especially, and not to say this was an actual, opportunity, but this past year when Chris Shula took over as the D coordinator for the Rams. Obviously, I had moved out here, but if I was still in LA, because Shula was my coach, we were both like 33 years old at the time. We clicked, but I congratulated him. I said, hey, that outside linebacker spot. He's like, let's go. But that was
is Shula the coach that you were referring to when you were at the back end of your career and you guys were really clicking on?
That was, I think we were talking about Joe Barry at the time.
Joe B.
Yeah, but
Joe
B was the inside linebackers coach in LA when I was there. But Chris Shula, related to the famous Don Shula, he took over as D coordinator this year, and so I just shot him a little congratulatory text. But I was like, damn. I talked to my wife. She's like, "Are you thinking of getting into coach?" I was like, Nah. Like I was feeling her out, she was feeling me out. But that coaching life.
Hey, that little limbo. You're in the kitchen sitting there. So what do you think?
Yeah.
You feel they're not feeling. You're like, yeah, for sure. No,
And because
I
I'm not
like,
gonna do that
I
anyway.
wasn't serious,
as a ball guy, and we love the game so much, you know how much you have to invest, and you know you would invest that time because you wanna succeed so badly.
of course.
Which takes like you're there 6 a.m. to midnight every day.
Yeah,
ultimately.
say goodbye to your family.
You there at 5.
No.
And I actually love my
Five,
family,
exactly,
my wife, and
yeah.
kids.
No
so
doubt.
that's tough.
Great.
If I didn't, I'd be coaching.
No doubt.
6 is with staff meetings. You late if you show up at 6.
Yeah, you had to do that in camp for a whole
Yeah,
camp,
for
right?
a whole camp.
And camp's probably the most brutal time
It
too.
was brutal. I'm talking about don't get home till like 2 a.m. Got to wake up.
And they
at
had you doing bitch work
4:30.
too.
Oh,
In a
I'm
small
on-
little
I'm
cubicle,
over-
putting everything
yeah,
together.
putting
Excel,
everything in
PowerPoint.
Excels.
Yeah.
Going
After
through
practice, you're not
sheets,
fucking around. You're
sheets.
running up to the office to
Yeah.
put all the
Taking
practice
your lunch
cut up
to
together.
go.
Yeah, I got to
Yeah.
put up all the penalties, all the offsides, all the drop passes, all the missed assignments, and I didn't even know the whole offense yet. And they like, yeah, every time they mess up, I'm over here going through the playbook like, shit.
How long did it take you to decide that wasn't for you?
First day.
No, it's about maybe 3 weeks into it, I was getting angry. I was just getting cranky because I was
Was
no
one
sleep.
of them that one situation that had happened?
Yeah,
The-
we
the
don't-
don't speak up.
Oh well, after that, I didn't want to be there no more. I was like, oh, I'm out of here. Fuck that. You ain't gonna tell me nothing.
I'm talking about the staff meeting room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delaney had spoke up, and then another coach was like, "Hey, you don't."
You don't
don't
say,
speak
you
up.
don't speak. You
He might be asking this question, but he
Wait,
ain't one you to
yeah,
answer.
It's
he
rhetorical.
like he wants it done. If he says it, it means he wants it. I was just like, shit. He asked for our opinion.
And that is such a Delaney thing
Politics
too.
world, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing I love about you is you take everything at face value. You're like,
Yeah.
if somebody asks a question, even if it's like there's an obvious answer, you're going to answer.
I'm gonna answer. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, this is what we should do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
Everyone kind of
idea.
looked at you like,
He was like, that's a good idea. And then everybody looked back at me like,
you don't even have a
record.
seat.
You're
You're
not
standing in
even
the
a
corner.
coach.
Yeah. No
he's
doubt.
not
dude.
even a coach.
Man, I
bro.
want the Commanders to win this game.
Yeah, me
I
too.
want them to win this game. There's nothing in it for me from like a fan standpoint with the Eagles. No disrespect to Eagles fans, but I just
Yeah, no disrespect. Great team. Great
Uh,
team.
they are. They're a great football team. They
Yeah.
have a run game. They have a good defense, a nasty defense. They're good up front. Jalen Carter's a stud. They have a great back end.
Couple of homies over there, so we want to see them do well as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
AFC Championship?
AFC Championship, Bills. We knew this game was coming.
Yes,
We knew this game was going to come at some point. Bills at the Chiefs. Chiefs are favored 1.5. Oh, I hate this because I think it was the episode that I did by myself when you were in LA and I forgot what you had to do, but you had to do something. And I sat there talking about this game, and it's like whoever wins this game is going to lose in the playoffs. The Bills won that game. So history, I mean, Mahomes is 3-0 against Josh Allen in the playoffs. Well, Josh Allen owns the regular season. I think he's 4-0.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the Bills win this game. I want them to win. I want Josh Allen to get it. I want the city of Buffalo to get it. They deserve it. Their antics when they're tailgating, jumping on shit, spraying a guy down with mustard. Like, that's the shit that makes sports great. Having a fan base called the fan base mafia. Like, it's so hard to beat that. But Chiefs defense, the refs, it's hard.
How
It
about
is
those
hard.
roughing the
Hey, it's
passers?
hard.
Have you guys
It is
discussed this
crazy.
yet?
Man, it's crazy.
But then you see later on, whatever day that was, Saturday or Sunday, like the hits on Lamar out of bounds
know.
that
Yeah.
one time, and I'm just
Nothing
like,
going
man,
on.
There
on
might be
Jalen,
something to it.
too,
on
is like-
Jalen getting hit out of bounds, they
Yeah.
didn't throw a flag. I'm sitting here like,
Goff
what?
on that
Goff?
interception.
Yeah,
I'm
Goff.
like, what at the?
I mean, Patrick Mahomes, they're protecting their greatest asset. The NFL's greatest
He's the
asset is
new
Patrick
Tom
Mahomes.
Brady. I'm trying to
I
tell
know.
everybody, you can't touch that man. It's the Tom Brady rule.
Yeah.
You touch him, if you tackle him too hard,
And the problem too is he's like Mahomes does such a good job of you leveraging the rules to his advantage. Like he kind of just like he runs around until
Dances,
just
yeah.
the last minute and then kind of goes down. Instead of like, you're going out there, you're intentionally sliding to protect yourself. He kind of just baits it all up.
You know, he's done the fake
Flops,
slide.
baits
He
it
does
up.
the slow down as he's
Before
getting
he
out of
gets out of
bounds,
bounds, yeah.
so he can get
Get
hit.
hit.
And a bunch of people are mad at that. I said this on Bussin this week's episode. Like, if that is working for you, you need to use every edge to your
keep
advantage.
doing it.
Keep doing it.
You're trying to win the game.
You're trying
Yeah.
to win the
Yeah.
game. Here's where I think the Bills actually have a chance against the refs in this situation is after this game, the commentators, everybody, their conversation was revolved around like essentially the Chiefs are getting special treatment
Yeah.
by the refs.
Yeah.
Everyone was it's kind of talked about by fan bases a lot of the times, but very rarely does it make it to like the mainstream of like the NFL. And it really has made it to the mainstream NFL. And anytime something is an issue in the NFL, there's always a massive overcorrection. Anytime you see a new league year, there's a new rule. That rule is buried into the ground for the first 4 weeks of the season. We could run into that where Chiefs don't get any calls. They get 0 of them. There might be an actual penalty of roughing the passer, and it doesn't get called because their buttholes are a little too tight because they know the microscope is on them a little bit. Yeah. So I'm gonna take the Bills plus 1.5. It might be a death sentence for them because of my record last year, but I want it. My heart wants it, and my brain can see it happening. Therefore, I'm going the Bills.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow suit because you got, I think, Matt Milano coming back. You got Terrell Barnett.
He came back.
Yeah, he came back.
He played well.
And then Terrell is back as well.
Olive oil.
Right. Bernard is coming back as well. So that linebacker core is gonna be strong again. Man, it's gonna be tough. I gotta go Bills. Like everything you said is correct, and I really want to see the Chiefs fall. To be honest with you, I do not want to see the Chiefs and the Eagles play in the Super Bowl. That's just me. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to see it. I want to see the Commanders and the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl this year.
That'd be awesome. I want the Bills to win this game. If the Bills don't win this game and the Chiefs do win, I want the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl because I want to see a three-peat. I want to see something done in NFL history that's never been done before.
I think it's a Chiefs-Philly Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the first matchup, Mahomes had 2 interceptions at the time, still only lost by, 6 or 7. I believe it was a close game, but Kelsey had like 8 yards, something, and now it's the playoffs. We always talk about him showing up. He did last week, had darn near half of their yards. So I don't know. It's hard to bet against the champs, whether, it's fighting, football, you name it. It's just hard to bet against them. Playing at home, the record you talked about, 3-0, Mahomes versus Allen. I'm just going with the Chiefs. I think it's just their destiny. I think it makes sense. I think it's their story, and it's going to be a Chiefs-Philly Super Bowl.
God. He's not wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
definitely
not wrong.
They
I think
are
the
the
Stars-
But you don't bet against the champs. You
don't.
don't bet against the champs until the champs are unchamped, and then you can bet against them.
Yeah, but
I think the stars have aligned for the Buffalo Bills. The Chiefs are trying to get a three-peat. When you think of this matchup between the Chiefs and the Bills, it goes all the way back to 1966, 1967, when the first Super Bowl took place. The AFL-NFL merger, the AFL Championship game was the Chiefs and Bills. Chiefs win that game to go on the Super Bowl and lose to who, Clay?
The Packers?
The Packers. You go to the early 90s when the Bills haven't won a Super Bowl ever in their organization's history. Early 90s, they go to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row. They beat Chiefs 2 of those times in the championship games, but they lose the Super Bowl 4 times in a row. They got there 4 times in a row.
How many times they get there in a row?
4 in a row.
Holy shit.
You fast forward to the early 2020s, now with the Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes era, our generation of Brady Manning, it's like the Chiefs have had their number, but you look at this game, what's riding on this game for both teams, chasing a dynasty, trying to go 3 in a row, trying to three-peat. You look at the Bills trying to get their first Super Bowl, Josh Allen trying to get this monkey off his back of beating Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, and they got to get through them to go into their very first Super Bowl victory for the Buffalo Bills. And another thing, we talk about officiating. The head official in this game, Cleet Blakeman. Cleet
Been
Blakeman.
around for a while.
Yeah.
The Bills are 5-2 with Cleet Blakeman as the head official. The Chiefs are 3-4 with Cleet Blakeman as the head official. They're known as throwing the most penalties. He's a big dog on campus in the NFL when it comes to the head official. He officiated Super Bowl 50. I believe that was the Bucs Chiefs when the Chiefs lost.
Yeah.
Cleet Blakeman, also Nebraska Cornhusker from 1984 to 1987.
Savant.
The Chiefs Kingdom is going down
to
this
be something with
weekend
it.
because of Josh Allen, Cleet Blakeman, and Willie C.
We're
taking them down.
We're
taking them down.
The ref is not in this.
You feel like all right, what about the pressure, though? If we're not talking about X's and O's, is there more pressure? You're thinking there's less pressure on Josh Allen to beat Mahomes than there is on the Chiefs to three-peat?
I think there's less pressure for the Chiefs.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's more
So
pressure
doesn't-
for Josh Allen. I think so much is riding on it. Like, this is such.
But you still think he's going to rise to the occasion?
I think he's
despite
going
all
to
the-
rise to the occasion. Okay. And you look last week, like Joe Brady, the OC, like they have a running game with James Cook. Josh Allen only had to throw for like 180 last week. Like they have a run game.
I mean,
Milano's
he
back.
ran too, though. Josh Allen was running his
I
ass.
Trust me, I got
Yeah.
an anytime touchdown with Josh Allen in my parlay.
Same.
I think he makes a big play because the Chiefs defense is good. They're going to get after him a little bit. He's going to have to make plays with his feet. But Bernard getting that opportunistic. They're getting turnovers against the Ravens. I like the Bills, man.
Yeah.
I want Bills Commanders in the Super Bowl.
Josh Allen was not asked to put his cape on against the Ravens. He's going to have to put it on against the
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's going to have to in a big way. This game is going to ride on his back, and it should be. I agree with you in the sense that like there's more pressure on the Bills in this game than there is in the Chiefs.
And both locker rooms, both facilities are sitting there just knowing that this is the game. Each team thinking this is the opponent we have to play to get to the Super Bowl.
Right. And
It's
I
destiny,
love
bro.
it when non-divisional rivalries take place. Like Chiefs, Bills, Titans, Ravens a while ago. Like those types of things where you're like, you're going to see each other. That's a hell of a feeling.
Yeah.
And it's every year. Every year we're going to get to the divisional or the AFC based on how both teams do, but you're going to see the Bills, you're going to see the Chiefs.
Right.
And how's it going to
Colts,
work
Patriots, like is Manning going to beat Brady
Yeah.
finally? Yeah.
Who was the team you hated the most that's out of your division?
It started with the 49ers. Like we would all, because we had such a long run, 49ers were rolling when Cap came in.
Yep.
They had a few years, and then Seattle took over, and then we had our great games with them. And then towards the tail end of my time in Green Bay, we just didn't make the playoffs. So, when you're not the top dog, it's hard to have those rivalries. But it was the what is that, the NFC South?
Mm-hmm.
No, NFC
NFC
West. NFC West, I'm sorry. NFC West, yeah. Those were
Niners
good
seem to
matchups.
always have themselves a little rivalry going
With
on.
everyone,
Packers,
everybody,
Cowboys,
Raiders.
Raiders.
That
Fucking
red and
Seattle.
gold.
Huh?
Uniforms
That-
go
your
so
guys'
hard.
uniform.
We
Uniforms
beef
go
with
so hard.
everybody. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is.
Yeah.
We every game would be like, some coach would be like, we got to beef with them, and then we start watching film like all the years they played. It's like, damn,
Niners, Cowboys.
we got to beef with these guys too.
Yeah.
Shit, let's
Every
go. We
week.
fight everybody.
Yeah. When you got to the Titans, they're like, hey, let's try to win a couple.
Yeah.
that was the game plan.
Yeah.
Let's not worry about rivalries, guys.
Yeah,
let's create some.
win a
Let's
game.
create a couple. Huh? What do you say? Yeah, all right, so let's dial it in. I'm going Bills. You're going Bills. Bills. Chiefs.
Chiefs.
That is the move.
Yeah.
Somebody picking each team. Yeah.
No, I'm saying Clay.
Oh, you
I'm
think it's
thinking
Chiefs?
Clay is
And
it.
then,
But
and
I
then who'd you guys
they're
pick
the
on?
champ.
I'm sorry, on the NFC side again. What
I took the
Commanders?
Eagles.
Commanders.
Commanders?
Yeah.
All right, so I got Eagles. So one of us, is that all the odds right there? One of us is going to be right?
One of us.
Somebody should be
somebody
right. Yeah.
should be right. Yeah.
And really, hey, for whoever gets the worst record of the year is up on these two games between you and me. We're both at 43%.
I know.
JP was talking about a little bet.
Does anybody have?
JP? No
yeah,
bet.
I'm
No,
starting
he
off at
not-
100%.
He definitely.
I
not
want
gonna
this
do
to
that.
roll over into next year, all right?
Does anybody have Chiefs Commanders? Nobody has Chiefs Commanders, so that's probably going to be the one that.
Yeah.
That goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
That's probably
you
gonna be
got
I got
Bills
Eagles.
Eagles.
I got
You
Bills Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one. That might be the game. Like if you're out there listening and watching right now, it might be Chiefs and Commanders. Might be the winners.
Yeah, probably put a future on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go with those
Next
here.
week I'll bring in. They sent me the Super Bowl merch already, so I'll let y'all see the colors. Y'all decide.
People were playing into that last year too, but I don't think it worked out.
I know because they
Because
were supposed to be
had,
the
like,
Ravens.
Ravens.
Yeah, it was supposed to be
It
the
was purple,
Ravens,
was
but
it?
Yeah.
next
Next week's gonna be a fun show. Just all the coin flip, the amount of time it takes to do the national anthem, the color of the Gatorade.
All the different props. in the
yeah,
game.
it's gonna be so much fun. But let's get to some juicy parlays.
parlay. Oh, y'all got the
Yeah.
the Ballsy Parlay, right?
Our Fire Ballsy Parlays this week is brought to you by Fireball. Fireball is the perfect shot for game day, whether you're buying those sneaky little shoes before going into the stadium or going big with the Fireball cake for your tailgate. Whether it's a pregame shot in the tailgate lot or a celebratory touchdown shot at the bar, no matter what, it's guaranteed to ignite your game day and ignite your parlay. Who wants to go first with their playoff parlay?
Well, Delanie's gonna take Saquon Barkley, right, Delaney?
No,
This
y'all-
one's
no,
the
this
Ballsy
is
parlay. This isn't the
Oh,
bet the
oh,
boys
yeah,
touch-
yeah,
This
I'm
isn't
ready.
the touchdown parlay.
Go ahead, Will. Let me find my phone.
All right, I have one for you guys. I brought it down. 6 legs.
Okay, progress.
Keeping it simple. Commanders money line. Bills money line. Jaden Daniels over 250 yards passing. Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. Josh Allen anytime touchdown. And James Cook over 60-plus rushing yards. That is plus 5,780.
Oh, you kept it
Jesus
conservative this week.
Christ.
Very conservative. I want a winner.
Jesus Christ, man.
It's a winner.
That's solid.
And they usually offer these 50% boost, parlay boosts. Like you boost them odds up, you're looking at over 8,000 right there.
God damn.
But staying conservative this week. We need a winner.
Yeah.
That's a winner.
That is a winner.
I'm excited to hear Clay. Clay said he had an 8.
All right, let's go here. So I got an 8-pick parlay. So I texted my brother last night, gave him a shout out earlier. He sent me over a 10-leg. You know, he was pretty fired up about it. But then I wake up this morning, 1 a.m. text comes through. Been thinking about this a lot. Sent me something new. 8-pick parlay plus 10,300. Okay. We've got Jaden Daniels, 10-plus rushing attempts. Austin Eckler with 25-plus receiving yards. Saquon anytime touchdown. And Dallas Goedert with over 38.5 receiving yards. We got Josh Allen anytime TD score. Travis Kelce anytime TD score. And Xavier Worthy with 5-plus receptions. And the kicker, Khalil Shakir with over 55.5 yards. I feel like it's going to come down to Khalil there. I looked at his stats.
He
The last 2 games, I think
he's got to make over 55-yarder for that parlay to hit.
Well,
no,
half over
receiving yards.
Oh, I thought you said kick.
No, sorry. If I did, I apologize.
Got you. Hang on.
I think the last 2 games,
one threw me for a loop. I haven't heard
in
that
the
one.
playoffs. He's had 6 to 8 receptions for about 60, 70 yards. So, and his last time I think we talked about him playing the Chiefs, I think he had 80. So he's right there. And this right here is going to turn everybody's luck around.
I kind of like it.
I love
He
it.
got thrown off.
And
by
we
that
need
kicker
a new
part.
set of eyes. We
The
gotta have a new set of
only
eyes.
reason I don't like Travis scored last week, but the only reason I get a little nervous with Trav, he's gonna get the rock a lot, but he doesn't have any bit of breakaway. He looks like me out there running, trying to get.
But his touchdowns come when they're in the red zone.
I know
and
he's older, but that's what I'm
sitting
saying.
right there in
Finds the
the
pocket in
weakness of
those
the
tight
zone.
zones.
Just
Yeah.
catches a little
He caught in
5-yard
standing over Al
touchdown.
Shahir.
Yeah, he gonna
Just hit
run.
his
and
little
do
dance in the end zone.
fake-
You know.
He's going to have his catches, but you
Yeah.
get to that red zone, Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like the parlay.
He gonna do his little
The,
fake
what was
pivot.
the kid's name?
Because every time he break away, I'm like rooting for him.
Khalil
watching the
Khalil
game.
Shakir.
He ain't
Khalil
outrunning
Shakir.
nobody. He
Khalil
I'm like,
looking
go.
Hey,
Now
I
he
even had
looking
to
back to
research
get
him.
Yeah. When you brought it up before the show, I'm like, who is that?
Yeah.
No disrespect, Khalil.
Yeah.
No disrespect. Like, you're in the league, brother. Congratulations. But I was like, 55 yards. That's scary.
Yeah.
Gauge what I got.
He is a beast.
No, he just
I don't know if this is like an issue of mine, but I go with my picks as well. And based on my 0-7 last week, this might be the problem. But I got Bills plus 1.5. I like that because I feel like they're going to, like, it's going to be a really close game. It's going to come down to that field goal at the end. Hopefully that field goal just makes it a 1-point game.
It's going to be
Hopefully
2.
we just live there. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. Kareem Hunt, anytime touchdown. He's a big body cat. You get within that 5-yard line. They need something to push in. I could see him giving that, maybe even a shovel pass for him to kind of dip and dump in there.
He's been having some juice too.
Right.
Yeah. Toting the rock.
Josh Allen, 50-plus rushing yards. Josh Allen, 10-plus rushing attempts. I think this is a Josh Allen game. This is a game he's going to put it on his back. Austin Eckler, 25 receiving yards. I like that. The first series of the game they played last week, he had a screen, 24 yards. Quickly got it right after that. I feel good about Austin Eckler. Dalton Kincaid, 40 yards receiving. I like that. Get into the tight end, let him work a little bit. He's got a little more juice in the leg category than Travis
Mitch, you
Kelce.
like that one.
Mitch, like
That big head started to rock.
Yeah. And then finally, Eagles -6. This parlay, you put that one together, plus 9,812.
It's a juicy parlay.
It's a juicy parlay.
How
You
many-
don't like it though.
I'm nervous.
How many legs was that again? How many?
We try to compare legs. 7. Yours is what? 10?
8.
8. What was your odds?
10,300.
Okay.
yeah, you just won under.
I just
Maybe
think it's
cook a little
difficult.
something.
I think it's you limit yourself when you bet the money line because it's a toss up at this point.
You're probably right. I'm not going to change, but you're probably right. You're probably right. 7 legs, and also respect the 7s. So it could be a nice little deal.
Could be.
Could be. Didn't even do that on purpose.
Delaney, do you have one or no?
Nah, I don't want people to lose their money because of me.
It's really
You
nice
gonna
of
ride
you.
ours?
Yeah, I'm gonna ride y'all.
Are you for real?
love
Yeah, I always ride y'all.
100?
Yeah.
1,000?
Whoever hit, I'm trying to get it quick, but
Trying to get some units.
yeah, I'm
Pop
trying to
that
get some
up.
quick beauties.
I have
right
been
here.
so cold.
I'm not putting
I've lost-
1,000, 100 is what I'll put for sure.
Should we get to the touchdown parlay?
Touchdown parlay.
Bet the
That's a little
boys.
too much. Yeah, it
Bussin'
is.
with the boys touchdown parlay presented by DraftKings. Want to start off with a big thanks to DraftKings for sponsoring this. Don't walk, don't run, sprint to get in on the action right now with our partners at the DraftKings Sportsbook. My favorite and only sportsbook I use to place my bets. New customers get $200 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5. Fade or follow all of your favorite Barstool personalities' picks in the Barstool betting group on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code LOCKER to sign up. That's code LOCKER. The crown is yours. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Don't miss out on all the action this week at DraftKings. Download the DraftKings app today and use the promo code LOCKER. New customers that bet $5 will get $200 instantly in bonus bets. I'm rocking mine that's in my parlay, which is Josh Allen anytime touchdown.
Scary Terry, anytime touchdown.
Love it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I also have
Clay?
Saquon. If anybody,
Yeah,
if
I got
you guys-
Saquon. I think it's the easy.
I figured
easy
someone
choice.
was it. You know, I'll take the one off yours. I'll take Travis. I like Travis.
Travis, Scary Terry, Saquon, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So that looks good.
What are the odds on
Fun
that?
one. I
That
think
looked
JP might
good.
be. Are you trying to get him right now?
I'm trying, but my dog doesn't know the Wi-Fi out here.
Man. About a stockyard?
Wait, y'all said Saquon, Terry, Travis, Josh?
Yeah.
That's already on DraftKings app,
Really?
and they got it at plus 1,326.
Who's got it? Whose parlay is that?
It just says the Encore parlay.
We can't use that. We didn't see it. It's LeBron's.
We got to switch up a leg. Now this terrifies me.
Oh no!
Do Jaden.
Jaden.
Or Jalen Hurts.
Cook over
Push
Jaden.
tush.
I like James
I was
Cook.
gonna say I
Over,
like James.
I like
Cook.
I like
Cook over
James
Jaden.
Cook over Jaden. I don't think Jaden. I don't want to.
So
You
do
want
we
to switch
switch
out Josh Allen
for James Cook? So that way we have one on each.
Yeah, let's do it.
Dalton.
Huh?
Knox, tight end, Buffalo. He should have had one last week, but Josh had him right behind it. I don't know. It's scary, but
Or make Saquon 2 touchdowns.
Ooh, they're trying to
he just had
say.
a 2P, so I don't know. It's scary.
Jack coming out of left field with Knox.
That's his cousin.
Second. You don't know me though.
I mean,
He
Jalen Hurts.
should have had it last week, and Josh put one like a foot behind him. He was wide open. And if you look at the stats, Dalton is one of those kind of like Travis-esque players where he provides in the playoffs. But Dalton,
I think we roll it.
Do it.
Did I say Dalton?
Dawson Knox.
Dawson Knox.
Doesn't even know his cousin's name. That's okay. We're still going to do it.
Dawson Knox, Travis Kelce, Saquon Barkley, Terry McLaurin.
Josh
Take
Allen.
out Josh Allen.
And
Who
that
took
I think we
Josh?
got it right. We got it right.
You took
I did,
Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that was a hitter then.
Yeah.
I know.
Plus 5,870.
Oh,
even better.
God. Oh,
Let's find that. I love how we're just celebrating.
Obviously, Vegas knows something. We're over here like, we
No,
got
yeah,
it.
5,000.
We got it.
Yeah, that's just
yeah.
1,000.
Way better.
Didn't win nothing yet, but yeah.
That much more.
We've won one. Have we won any more than one Bet the Boys parlays this year?
No.
Just one.
This is it, though.
This is the one.
This has to be it.
This is the one.
We
Has
got
to be
Clay on the show.
Gotta be.
This is the one for sure.
Good
I
show.
feel it. I feel
Hey,
it.
we feel good. Clay, you had fun?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Big hugs, tiny kisses. Please subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, and rate 5 stars. We will see you next week. Is it a 2-part show? One show filmed at 2 different times.
Something like that.
One show filmed at 2 different times. Another special guest, though. Another special guest is going to be awesome. Round of applause for Clay Matthews one more time for joining us. Thank you, sir. All right, we'll see you guys next week.